Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. How's everybody doing tonight? Give me just a second so that I can see what's happening on the chat and see if this is going live or not. Oh, let's see here. Looks like it is on Instagram. Hey to all you guys over here on Instagram. Let me go and put the comments up just to on Facebook. I would like for somebody to chime in on the comments and let me know if everything looks okay on your end. Okay, I'm just gonna hit this running because on my end I can't see anything. I can't see the comments and I can't see that I'm streaming at all. The only way that I know is I have my Facebook page up and I flicked over to it to see if anything was running on it. So it looks like it's running on there, so I'm just going to run with this. Okay, while everybody's getting their notifications and hopping on, let me give you a brief update because I haven't done one in a while. As you all know, I have stage 4 clear cell metastatic carcinoma. Have had it for a year and a half. I had to quit taking chemo a few months ago because it was making me so sick. It was after I quit the chemo that I got to feeling well enough to do some more shows and the Fun Friday. So I'm off the chemo. I am still taking the Keytruda IV immunotherapy. And I'm doing some alternative medicine type of things. And the last scan that I had showed that the tumors were shrinking slightly. So we will take any little advantage that we can get. I also put a post up, it was a few days ago, where I was trying to cut up a acorn squash and ended up at urgent treatment getting my thumb glued together. Well, it's better. The glue has all come off, and I'm trying to be really careful with this, and I'm trying not to do too much in the kitchen right now. Let me look at the Facebook page and see if there's anybody on there right now. Oh. Okay. Yeah. The video's up, but it won't let anybody see. It's the same, it's a permissions type of thing. So I'm not sure exactly how to fix that right at this point in the video. Well. Yeah, it's not gonna let me. Maybe if I. Maybe if I go to settings, it will let me do that. Hang with me real quick and let me see if I can get this fixed really quick before we start it, because this is going to be a good show and I don't want you guys to miss it. No, that's not it. Oh, here it is, default audience settings. Public is my current setting. We need to keep it on current. Well, I don't know if that's going to work or not. Let's see. No, it's not going to let me. All right. Well, I'll figure it out later, and I will get the video changed to public. I probably will have to wait till after the show to do that, so don't worry about it. You'll get to watch it. You can always hop over to my YouTube channel and watch it there. But there's a huge misconception that a lot of hauntings can be just, get a priest out there, say blessings, and then everything is okay. And we get that misconception from, this is on TV, this happens on TV. And so I thought I better let you guys know what the real world is like, because in the real world, not everything can be fixed. And there have been a few times, doesn't happen very often, but a few times that we've had to ask people to get another property or sell their home because we can't fix what's there. And we need to kind of know the reasons why, because if you happen to buy a property in any of the things that we're going to discuss, you need to know these things. So, okay, let's start with number one, because it still bothers me that I can't fix this. I can't fix it. Oh, I can't fix it. I'm still trying, though. Yep, I'm still trying. Okay, I'm gonna give up. Why are some entities difficult to eradicate or impossible to eradicate? Number one is the trauma load to the environment. The percentage of the amount of trauma imprinted in the environment, such as, a battlefield or a place where mass casualties have happened, explosions, floods, earthquakes, hurricanes, tsunamis, cyclones, shipwrecks are included in this, and especially any of these water elements, because water element, it amplifies and conducts electromagnetic energy. And so anything that's got water in, near, or around it, and there's a lot of mass casualty, that's a double combination for the trauma load to the environment. And some spirits stay at these locations because the physical recording loops that are in the location keep repeating over and over and over. And what happens is, since this loop of memory that's imprinted in the environment keeps happening over and over, it creates confusion within that spirit's consciousness. And the spirit is trying to figure out what has happened to them. And so they're more likely to be trapped or held at that location, simply because we have this playback loop going on. And, they're acting out through the playback loop as they would have in the initial imprint. The second thing is physical amplifiers in the environment. Water sources such as ponds, streams, lakes, or underground springs. These can conduct and record electromagnetic energy. So if you have a property that has an underground spring and a stream on one side and has paranormal activity, it's going to be very difficult to be in or get rid of that entity. Okay, let's go to number 3. Also, we got to talk about the bedrock composition, such as in our area in particular, we have limestone, quartzite. In other areas, they have marble, granite. These are all uh, conductors of electromagnetic energy fields and can hold recordings within the environment as well. Iron, I want to add iron to that, especially into old houses where they have iron bathrooms and pipes and things like that. For some reason, iron allows a spirit to hold on to or anchor themselves at that site. Man, I'm really sorry. This is not coming over for for you guys, because I wanted to see what kind of questions that you had. And don't feel bad about it. Just if you have any questions, feel free to message them, DM me on Facebook or Instagram. Number 3 is the time load. And a lot of people don't think about this. The amount of time the entity has been allowed to exist undisturbed in the environment. So the longer the plasma bands are allowed to conglomerate in their shape that they want, the more difficult it is to break up the pattern that has been established, especially if there are other factors that anchor them there, such as, the limestone, quartzite, and water sources, and iron pipes in the building. And I can keep going on and on. So, the amount of time, let's say you've had a house that's had an entity there for 50 or 60 years, it's going to be difficult to get rid of it. House of Biggs, can you hear me now? Can anybody else on Instagram give me a shout out to see if there's any audio? I may have to just do this all over again. House of Biggs, can you hear now? Anybody else on Instagram, can you hear? Trying to move the microphone a little closer. Maybe if we do this, or maybe if there we go. Loud and clear. Okay. Okay, great. So, I was saying the amount of time the entity has been allowed to exist undisturbed in the environment. What it is, these entities will set up plasma bands. And they want to set up, it's sort of like a web of energy, a web of plasma that they use to set up in the environment. And the longer that they're left doing that by themselves, the longer that they have to do this, the more difficult it is to break up that pattern and to get rid of them. So if you've got an entity who has been at a property for a good 50 or 60 years, then that pattern has been set in the environment for a long, long time, and it is going to be more difficult to get rid of it. So for those of you that are just joining, we went over trauma load to the environment, and that would be mass casualties, explosions, floods, hurricanes, especially any water elements, physical amplifiers in the environment like limestone, granite, quartzite, marble, those hold on to energy, and it's very difficult to get rid of an entity once that thing has anchored to some of the bedrock. Now let's get on to number 4, attachment to historical items like paintings, furniture, sculptures, granite objects, or even walls. Because I'll tell you why. Entities love to exist in empty space where no one is walking through it, and that's the space in between walls, um, closets, attics, basements. The longer an entity is in one of these spaces where you can't get in there and break it up, the more difficult it is to get rid of that entity. Objects made of iron are in this category as well. For some reason, this has just been my experience that they can anchor to iron pipes, iron bathtubs, and it is almost impossible to get rid of them once they're anchored to a substance such as that. Let's see. Objects such as dolls. Why the dolls? Why is it always the dolls? Because the dolls have the same morphogenic field shape as the human body. And it's a hollow space. And you're not walking through it. And usually people don't suspect the dolls. So if it's anchored to a doll, let's say you have an exorcist that goes through the house and is doing their thing, and so this entity simply pulls back into the safe space of a doll in a cupboard somewhere where it's hidden. Sage and smoke can't get to it. That's going to be hard getting rid of that, especially if it has a safe harbor to go to, which is the doll. So that's when you got to get the EMF out and find out where it is anchoring to. And this is just a piece by piece basis, because a lot of them will jump from place to place inside a house just to make it difficult for you to eradicate them. So the morphogenic field of the doll is a problem, or a sculpture, even a sculpture of a human. It's a problem. Number 5, demonic types of entities are more difficult due to the strength of the entity. Any entity who exerts a conscious choice to stay and do harm is more difficult to get rid of, because the ones that we run into more often than not don't want to be where they're at, and they want to move on, and they want to get out of the situation that they're in. But if you have a consciousness that wants to stay and specifically do harm, that's more of a demonic type of entity. It's more of a demonic type. And so those are most difficult to remove. But most of them do want to move on, and especially if it is explained to them by a medium. I see Janice is over here. Thank goodness for YouTube. Yes. And, Janice, it's the same deal as it was last time. So I had trouble getting the stream to initiate on all of these that I've been trying to work with. They never tell you that you have to go into the program in a certain spot in the settings somewhere back in time there to change a little toggle so that everybody can see your live stream. Otherwise, it's trapped in time and in the locked position, which it's streaming on Facebook. I can see it, but the lock is on it. And so after the show, I'm going to go in and unlock it somehow. I will unlock this somehow. You can watch it on Facebook if you want to, but yes, it's okay. Everybody, it's on YouTube. Thank God for YouTube. And thank you, Janice, for thinking to go over to YouTube to watch it. Okay, now here's something about demonics. Demonics don't care. They simply want to destroy any weakened target. Well, so let me give you examples of weakened targets. Children, teenagers, drug or alcohol influenced people, people who are stressed or deeply depressed. This is one I had never thought about, but it's true. People who are easily moved to panic and fear are big targets for the demonic. And why do the demonics target these people? Because they're weak, they have no spiritual base. Okay? The drugs, the alcohol are easy in because the conscious mind is not in control over the aura. People who have no spiritual base or do not have a daily active personal connection to God, easy target. Easy in, easy done. And remember, they don't care. They are simply out to destroy, destroy, destroy. Hate, anger, destroy. And I see a lot of people actually devolving to more demonic type of creatures because they don't care. They have lost their humanity and all they want to do is destroy. And that is a very, very sad thing. So I was looking at, we were talking about in one of the old shows about, and this was the first show, it was about the soulless. Okay. And how they get that way. And it's a process of devolution through acts of immorality, continued acts of immorality, cruel acts against other people and humanity. I mean, part of being human is the definition of being human is wanting to help, empathetic type of feeling for others. Now, and so I was looking at this, and here's a couple things we may not have known. Maybe some of you do know. Abaddon is most famously known for the biblical angel of the abyss, described as the destroyer who is the king of a plague of locusts. His name means destruction or destroyer in some traditions, including the book of Revelation. It is a title for a powerful angel or demon. In works of fiction, Abaddon can also appear as a fallen cherub or an archdemon, and in a specific place, Abaddon is portrayed as a human turned into a demon. So that describes kind of the devolutionary process. Now, and so I started looking, well, we're here to evolve, not devolve. So were there any documented people who evolved into angels? In the book of Enoch, Enoch was a mortal man who walked with God and was taken to heaven without dying and was transformed into a powerful archangel named Metatron. So, and then we have also example Mother Mary, who is often called the Queen of Angels. So humanity has the ability to evolve, but also to devolve. And so the kind of entities that you might find in a haunted house that do harm and don't want to leave can be on their way to complete devolution to demonic. And that can certainly be why some places have a demonic infestation without people being there necessarily. Maybe somebody at the property who was ultra evil, devolved in many lives, died on the property, and continues to do evil acts through spirit and is becoming more demonic. You have a new group of people that move in and get these evil acts done to them. That's an infestation that sometimes you can't fix. So, hey, tell you good guys over here on Instagram. I may hop on again before Halloween and give you a couple of stories from the ICU. I mean, how many stories do we have from the ICU of dead babies crying in the night? Oh, I'm telling you. we'll see if I have enough energy for it. But let me hop off of here and get on Facebook and see if I can't get this video changed. I'll be posting things that are coming up. So watch the Facebook page. Love you all. Kisses from Kentucky, and I will see you next time, okay? Whenever that is. It may be a surprise. Maybe a surprise.